I genuinely want to try to improve on most new things I learn, but taping and mudding is not one of them. So instead, I just decided to do a feature ceiling in my mudroom, and I think it looks awesome. Check it out. What's up, guys? It has been a minute since I've put a YouTube video out there, but I would appreciate you staying tuned for this one. I'm going to take you through the steps of making a feature ceiling using plywood. If you haven't yet, hit the like button below and then subscribe if you want to stay in the loop for more videos. All right, let's go. First things first, you want to measure your ceiling so you know the dimensions you're working with. That way you can decide what width of strips you want to rip down on your table saw and roughly how many you'll need. I used 1/8" Baltic birch plywood from Baird Brothers in Canfield, Ohio. After I got all my strips ripped down, I decided to stack them all up and take them inside. I wanted to check them in the room itself because I knew my ceiling wasn't perfectly square, so I had to come up with an overall length that would work for most parts of the ceiling, knowing I was going to put some trim up. So I marked it off at the average length that I needed, and then clamped it all together to take to the miter saw. I was not about to cut these one at a time with a stop block. Cutting them all at the same time was way easier. And yes, my dust collection was not attached for this shot. At first, I wasn't sure if I was going to go with my 18-gauge brad nailer or my 23-gauge pin nailer. I took a look at the nails I had on hand, and the 23-gauge nails have a much smaller head, and honestly, I didn't want to fill holes with wood putty and put in extra work, so ultimately I went with the pin nailer, especially because I knew I was going to be using liquid nails. It didn't need that much reinforcement anyways, so I put my liquid nails on and started going one at a time. This took a lot longer than I expected it to, but I'm telling you, it was worth it. Alright, so for this part, you're going to want to have a wet rag on your belt loop or somewhere nearby, because if you do happen to use too much liquid nails and have some squeeze out, you can easily clean it up with the rag. This is me attempting to use a spacer so that they're all evenly placed. This is a horrible idea. Unless you have a third arm and a third hand, it's a great idea, but I did not have that. So I ditched that spacer pretty quickly and just eyeballed the rest of the project. It did not take long for my shoulders to start burning and my neck to start hurting, so heads up, pun intended, this is a bit of a shoulder workout. As I got to the light box, I realized I'm just going to make it easy on myself and cut them a little bit long just so they overlap inside the box, and I knew I could trim them back if I needed to with a multi-tool later on. That's exactly what I did. Hey, as you're doing this, make sure you measure from here to here and then go to your opposite side and do the same thing. Measure from there to there to make sure you're actually staying square as you're putting these up and not starting to go on a slight angle. You're welcome. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. Oh, it's so pretty. That looks terrible. Oh no. No, remember? Just cut it with the multi-tool and then just install your light fixture. Boom.